Hello class! In this video, we'll have a short review of your lesson in grade 10 on sequences and series. So dito, babalikan natin yung difference between a sequence and a series. Also, we will revisit yung mga formula natin na ginagamit to find missing terms or maybe to find the sum of the terms of a particular sequence. And we'll begin by answering this pretest item. Which of the following situations illustrates a series? Letter A, the population of bacteria after some time, given that it doubles every second. B, the number of chairs in the 10th row of a theater if the next row has 2 chairs more than the previous. Letter C, the amount of money Alex will have saved by the end of the month if he increases his savings by 5 pesos per day. Or D, the height of the 6th bounce of a ball given that the next bounce is lower than the previous by 10%. So what's your guess? If your answer is C, then you got it right. First thing that we will do is to differentiate a sequence from a series, and then we are going to illustrate a series. So when we say sequence, our keyword is list, while when we say series, our keyword is sum. Sequence is to list as series is to sum. And in a sequence or series, we call the numbers terms. And because a sequence is a list, then the terms are separated by commas. While sa series, we use plus or minus signs as our separators. Every sequence has an associated series. For example, this sequence of numbers is associated to this series. Now, the sequence with general or nth term a sub n is usually denoted by this expression, and the associated series is given by this expression. Now, balikan natin. Ano nga ba ulit itong general or nth term? Yung general or nth term, it is a mathematical expression which we use, which we evaluate para ma-generate natin yung terms ng isang sequence or nung kanyang associated series. Halimbawa, find the first 4 terms of the sequence whose nth term is defined by 3n minus 1. Itong 3n minus 1 dito, ito yung sinasabi nating general or nth term. So we will evaluate this at 1, 2, 3, at 4 dahil hinihingi sa atin are the first 4 terms. And if we're gonna do that, we'll obtain the following numbers as our terms. So our sequence is this list of numbers na pag sinulat natin sa series ay tada! Easy. Let's try illustrative example number 2. Find the first 4 terms of the sequence whose nth term is defined by this expression, then give its associated series. As you can see here, in our general term, we have a factor negative 1 raised to n, the quantity negative 1 raised to n. This is somehow familiar to us. Alam natin na when we raise negative 1 to an odd power, an odd number, we know that the sign will remain negative. But if we're going to raise it to an even power, we know that the sign will be positive. So here, as we evaluate the expression at 1, 2, 3, 4, mayroong effect itong factor na ito. It will actually create alternating signs because its value, the sign, its sign alternates. Negative, positive, negative, positive. Kaya yung ating series na ma-generate here ay merong terms na may alternating signs. Na pag sinulat natin into a series ay ganyan. Okay? Now we talk about arithmetic series. Pag sinabi nating arithmetic series, it is the sum of a sequence in which each term is computed from the previous by adding a constant called common difference. So that's our keyword here. We know it's arithmetic if there is a common difference. And we use this formula para mahanap ang isang missing term. And in this formula, a sub 1 refers to the first term, while n refers to the position of the term that we want to compute. And of course, the positions start at 1. So, sinabi nating positions, we start at 1. And then followed by 2, 3, 4, and so on. So here are some examples. As you can see in letter A, there is a common difference. And the common difference is 7 minus 3, that is 4. So that's how you compute as a common difference. While in letter B, ano kaya ang ating common difference? So, negative 4 minus negative 5. This is minus negative. So, we flip this sign. It becomes positive. And then we proceed to addition. That is positive 1. So, our common difference in B is positive 1. So, for letter C, pwede nating i-break down yan into two arithmetic sequences. But we'll save it for later. Alright? To evaluate the sum, so we use the symbol S sub n, of an arithmetic series with n terms, meron tayong mga formula na pwedeng gamitin. Either this formula or this formula. Now, kailan ba magandang gamitin itong una? Kailan naman ideal na gamitin itong pangalawa? We use the first formula kapag alam natin yung nth term. We use this formula when the nth term is known. Nth term is known. Otherwise, we use this formula instead. Pag di natin alam yung nth term, this is what we use. Provided alam natin kung pang ilan siya, di ba? We know the position. So let's try to use that formula, those formulas. Example, evaluate the series. So as you can see, we have here a case where yung terms ay may alternating signs. So to somehow eliminate that complication, we may split it into two different series. And separately, i-evaluate natin yung sum ng bawat series. So that's what we did here. So sa series number 1, nagsama-sama yung mga positive. While sa series number 2, nagsama-sama yung mga negative. In the first series, we want to know kung ilang terms nga ba yung, or pang ilan nga ba si 125. So we need the value of n para makuha natin yung sum. So, ganun din sa second series, we want to know kung pang ilan si negative 127 sa list. So as you can see, both of them are pang 30 first. So now, we will now plug in yung known values to evaluate the series. So here, ginamit natin itong formula. Ito. So yung 5, yung first term, plus yung last term, first term, last term, times kung pang ilan yung last term, all over 2. Okay, and then, first term plus last term, first term plus last term, times kung pang ilan yung term, all over 2. The result here is 2015. The result here is negative 2077. Pag pinag-combine natin, we get negative 62. So, ang value ng series is negative 62.